Hi, I'm Lizzy.
Hi, I'm Toni. And we are Funky Space.
Herzlich willkommen zu unserer zweiten Ausgabe Chat with Funky Space. Heute mit unserem ersten Interview mit Milady. Wir sind gespannt, was uns heute aus dem Funky Space erwartet.
Hello world and hello again. And we are so happy and thank you very much that we can speak to you down there. And I think that today I don't call you Stone Age because we have a lot of things to tell you. And as we know what we told you, and we know that now we can communicate with you, and we know that we have also beautiful things to tell you. It's not just that you're doing things wrong. But what it's going right now on in the world, it's going to the wrong direction. And here it's, your work that you have to stop that. But today I want to speak also about the good things which you have and to translate our mathematics that we have. Milady has to give you examples because the language of mathematics, it's not known down there. The language of mathematics is so completely, it's a complexity which you can't imagine, and you don't have also write an answer for all that. You're questioning, or also your scientists down there, they question natural mathematics since many, many, many years and decades. And there was also a time in your world where people started to let this knowledge, let me say, spread out to the people and to their government at that time. And it was not always something very good because they thought that, the world will change and that some old structure will be, I would say, just called back or even not being there anymore. So what is going on right now, it's also the beginning of a new age in your world, the beginning of what you call a different world and what you call also a world which can spread if you want, because it's about you, as I told you already in the last, I will call it session. But what I want to say today, the possibilities are there, and I want to bake a very great, how you call it down there, a tart, or you call it also a pastry. And for a pastry you need a cake, and for a cake you need a lot of different things which you put in there. So these things, these ingredients, and you can make completely different ones, and once they are tasting much more, they have a fruit taste, and others they are much more, they have a chocolate taste. And what I mean with that, I bake a cake today with you is that I want to tell you that all communities in your world are taking part of this very big baking a cake. And what I want to say with that is also that you need all communities to have, this cake done and put it on a table to taste it. So what is going on right now in your world, that if you want to bake a cake and you don't take flour, you can bake it. So you need the country which brings you the flour. If you want to put chocolate in there, you need the country which brings you the chocolate to make it. And so the ingredients, they are coming from completely different parts in the world and made from different people. And what is going on right now on Earth that we can see is that in some countries, we know that you don't have slavery anymore as you had it in past times, but you still have, the thinking of slave people, which what you're doing and which what you want and what you want to pay for those people for their work. And please really give them also, support them in what you need, what they need, and pay them very fairly. That's a wish that we have, and we know that you can do it because they have families as well, in other countries, and they have also their they need the support also for their family, and they need also to pay for medication or things like that. So support those family. It's not just we just take the things and we make a cake or we bake a cake and we just don't give the money back to those countries. I have to explain it like that because it's very, very, complicated to really that you can take part of the mathematics in the world, that you can take part of what we see and what we call a balanced world. What we can say to you is that right now it's not balanced. You had in past times also the meaning of we want to trade people and their communities and not betray. And that's what we want to say with that. Don't betray them. Just give them what they need and give them also very much support. They are countries, families, they are communities which are not rich. And if you bring to them also what you have, spread it also with them or for them and give them also the chance to make part of this big, I would call it baking, you call it, it's like, I would say it's like, everybody brings the best, or a tasty cake, and then you have to give some scores about it. And there are some people and communities and countries, they never will have a high score because they don't have the same possibility. So it's also a lot of development you have to do in those countries and to support them. Because what I want to say is that I talked about gravity last time. So no, it's not just an imagine, it's also please consider that gravity will be different. So what you have right now to bake a cake will be different in the future, so that you have to ask other countries if they can deliver you something. And so it's not just about we are rich and we can have our world for the upcoming 200-300 years, and we just take everything from other countries, because there will be the day they will stop to deliver you and give you something, and they will take it for themselves. So that's what we mean, it's not balanced. Right now you're just taking. The rich ones are taking all the time, and consider that one day can be completely the contrary. So what you're doing now, so it's like putting new seeds on earth, putting new thoughts on earth, and it's putting also new commitments with other countries and people, and it's also generosity which you need really to spread out. And then at the end, everybody, every community, every family and every culture can sit on the same table and eat this very tasty cake. And there is also start to rethink what you need necessarily in your world, also for food. So much food is just a waste, which some people even can't imagine what you're eating. There are some countries, they are just doing and producing things which are not needed in your world, which are just a tasty thing for a few kind of people, and at the end you throw it away. So imagine that food is not something that you just can put or just produce something, at the end you have to throw it away. So be aware on what you're taking and what you're producing and what you're eating as well. It's very important. And as I taught also last time in the last session, gravity will change also the behavior and also daily life for people and for countries, for communities. And government have to rethink what is very necessary to be produced and to be eaten. It's a hard word to say that things which have been so normal for you for many years, and younger generation, they just grow up with a lot of consumption, and that's what we want to say as well. A lot of things can't be produced in the future, so be aware that you have to rethink what's very necessary and what is very necessary. So make your homeworks please down there, because we need to say that you can spread a lot of material like you want it. It's really something that you have to think about it as well. And when we talk to the world, and I don't want to use that word that I used last time in the session, it's really it's a start to behave, and it's start to rethink, and it's start to make also other happy, and not only one country and one population or two population in two countries. Think also about others. Think that many people suffer hunger, and they are hungry, they can't feed their children, they can't feed their family, and they have illnesses. So please just and we know that in your world there was, and still, but you don't mention it that much, but there was, the first world, the second world, and the third world. And I really need to say, if you just continue like that, and because of gravity, the third world can be the first one. And so rethink what you're doing right now, because we know that the first world has a problem, that the third world will be at number one day. But it is a completely different time going on. It's a completely different changement in nature as well, and also because of gravity things will be different. So remember that what you have right now will not always will be there, and if you start to share things right now, you have also the trust from other people which are in the third world right now. So please remember that times are changing, and it's really needed that you start to rethink what is very necessary for food, for living, and how your consumption is in many things. And we have to tell you that the future generation, and I speak about the still unborn children, and also the I would really say until 3 to 4 years old children right now on Earth. They want a different world, as I told already last time, and they are not so I would say prepared, and they don't want either all this technology which you have right now. So just step back also in that, because it will be different. They don't want it. All this technology and all this what you have right now, they have and they are much further in their thinking, and even if they are small childs, they are so much further you can't imagine. They don't know why parents and family members, people around just do things which it's not needed to do. They I know that at that age in your world, people or these children, they can't talk that much, or they can't understand. They can talk, yes, but they don't understand because they have already a completely new, I would really call it, consciousness for their world and for humanity, for animals, for population, for communities. You know, for them there is not a right and a wrong and a black and a white. For them everything is equal and everything is balanced. So they are the future, and they want also a great future, and they are thinking completely different. So what I mean with that at the point right now on Earth, you start to produce and to do, and you think that your children will need it too, but that will not be the case, because they go back in time as well, and they go back to nature. They go back to naturally things, and already there is a spread of that and the thinking about that in your world, but they are much more than that. So if you are producing and make and take consumption as so granted, it's not what they want in the future, and it's also as you can step backwards. That's what I want to say with that. You can step backwards because they are so much more I would say close to nature, close to natural things. And as I told also in the first session, that not only we, but also those children want a world which looks like an avatar world. And with that, I mean, they want much more naturally things back. So everything which is not needed right now on Earth, start to just really say, okay, we don't need to produce that, and we don't need to produce that, because also electricity, as I told last time, will be a big problem for every country. And so you really have to rethink what it's needed and what you need and what you also want, and share things if you can do it, because there is a lot for everybody. And also I know that people down there, human beings, have questions, you know. They want to know about this written book. They want to speak about this written book. They want to know how we can communicate with that. So we are real, you know. I am a real person, and I want to speak also about your how you call it artificial intelligence down there. We laugh about that, and as I told you, I don't want to use this word which shows a time in your world, but I really need to say that, you know, mathematics has always been there, and we have a consciousness, and artificial intelligence doesn't have it. It's something just produced by your computers and by putting in a special order your numbers. But we have much more numbers. We have and you can't imagine, you can't even have a look at it, you know. It's not that you look at the sky and then you see all these numbers. That's not that. It is a written book, which is also very, it will be confusing for you, and that's why also scientists can't imagine and can't read it. And it is also, it's like something so sacred also for the world, and take it also something so sacred, and take it also something so beautiful, because they are parts of it, which also gives you the chance and gives also much beauty to the world and to their population and human beings. It has always been there, as I told you, and it has its own history, and it will have also history for the future and for the next generation. And what I want to say with that as well is, it's not that you think that Milady is just saying something because she needs to say something. That's not that. It is really a written book, and it's so a beautiful book. And we know that you have so many beautiful and fabulous histories down there, where it was always something so magic. And mathematics is magic if you just put it in the right order. And what I mean with that, you know, that I try to tell you that please put it in the right order, because right now it's just really a confusing thing down there. And if you put it in the right order, if you start to be conscious about what is your daily life, what is your daily things you're doing, your daily business, your daily talk to other people, you can put also this matching in the world with everything which you're doing, and also sharing. And what I want to say with that is, at the end, all are sitting on one table and can really taste this tasty cake which you have produced all together. And I need to explain things in those words, because it is something so I would say so genius, impossible to explain our mathematics. So I have to use such words that everybody can understand it. And let me say that they are confusing times ahead. And as I told also last time, because we remember what we said and what we are talking about. They are confusing times in the future, and also for scientists, as I told last time. And I know that I have a lady sitting here, and that a lady wants to put or question me some things, because your world is in a completely transforming time. And when things are transforming, people are also afraid, and people are aware about things, but they are really much afraid, because they think that they have to lose things. It's not a losing, it's just a changing. And it's also something which when you know what we mean with all that, and when you listen to all these sessions also coming ahead, because we have so many information for you, and we also please you, if you have questions, just ask. We are there to communicate with you, and we are there also to give you support, and that's what we mean and what I mean. And I have this lady sitting here because I work with her many times as well, and I know that she has also a question for us. So please, if you have a question, you can ask.
Ja, ich möchte mich an dieser Stelle erstmal bedanken für Ihr Interesse, für die Geste, für diesen Gestus, den Sie uns zukommen lassen, und möchte diese starken Worte auch nochmal aufgreifen. Gravitation, es ist eine Übermittlung aus einer Matrix. Dann haben Sie mehrfach betont und auch ausgesprochen die Mathematik, die dem Ganzen wie ein Zauber zugrunde liegen muss, laut Ihren Angaben. Gesprochen in Sprache, die wir verstehen als Menschheit. Yes. Es ist eine Kommunikation, die Sie uns hier widerspiegeln, die natürlich sehr viele Fragen aufwirft, und gerade in dieser Zeit, in der wir heute leben, Sie haben es im letzten Podcast erwähnt, die Gravitation, die sich sehr verändert, das ist ein Teil, der, so nehme ich an, die ganze Menschheit sehr beschäftigt. Und aus diesem Grund möchte ich die Gravitation, sprich die Veränderung der Gravitationskräfte, auch die Achse, die sich allem Anschein nach schon sehr verändert hat.
Changed, yeah.
Ja, so ist das als Frage in den Raum stellen.
Yes. Yes, well, we can say, that, as you know, your world has a very big an old age, and in this old age there were always stages which changed a little bit. You had many times where you had no people on earth, you had different animals, you had different also the landscapes like they are right now. You had this breaking down earth, you had breaking down from continents which you have right now. Also your maps in your world, they have been different, and they have also been different island in the past, and different let me say structure of earth. And with gravity, it's not that, it's like when the world, because the world and every planet on your world is a fireball, and the fireball has, let me say, on one hand you have the volcanoes, and you have earthquakes which are coming from Earth, from the inner circle from the Earth, and I need to speak in words that you can understand it. But you have also light, you have other planets, and you have also air, and you have weather condition. And all that, because the world will turn faster, people are not ready, so it's not that you get faster in doing things, you get slower, because your blood, your cells, your brain isn't that much that, it's like a confusing, it's like you have done something every day and then you need to speed up every day and you can't. And so your body is just putting you in a stage of doing everything slower. And also your thinking will be slower by then, and if you look back at time, and when you go really, really back in many years, they were walking everything slowly. It was a different time. So it's not that you're just getting out there, with barbs and no clothes anymore. But what I mean with that is that your body will have also a different condition in all that. So also sports, which people normally just do, and they sprint and they do everything so fast, it can be like that in the future for a certain time. It's not all the time, but it's not just one day. It is that you have to imagine gravity or waves. Gravity give a completely different changement in the world. Gravity have a force, they do have forces, and in these forces people have to be also, they have their daily life, but there are also people, they can't go on with that. And so it's also very difficult for being a physician. It's also very difficult, for people, and also for electricity. That's why I told also last time, electricity will be just it's like you want to have light and you are 5 days in the dark. It will have also a change of structure in your world, a change of what it was will not be all the time. And many people maybe will ask, well, how long does this take care, or is this changement down there? And they are, I need to say it like that, the mathematics are telling that it's like going around the world. So I need to say that if you want to start with a plane in a city and you want to go to another city on another continent, it's nearly impossible. And what I mean with that, it's because also air, wind, and everything will be so different, and it's nearly not possible for a plane to fly through that let me say, changing, I will call it changing bubble. It's like you fly through a bubble. It's like also a ship just going on, and then, because of the mathematics and gravity, all the features are not working and you're just lost there. So I want to say that it's like going around the world, and it has their forces. You really need to understand that things, that's why I told you, things will be and need to get also slower because of that. So imagine that you are a hurrying population right now, but that will not be the case for some months and years also. But it goes around, and you need to know that. And in this time also gravity will cause a completely different weather conditions, and you have seen it already now on Earth, or since a few years. You see that some countries do have snow, which normally snow is not falling down, and you have also much more water and floods where normally it wasn't in the past. So things are changing, and consider that this weather condition are all around the world. So it's not that one country can say, well, it will not cause some problems in our country. That will change a lot of things. And with that I meant also that many people, what I told also, that the world is not balanced right now, and it has to get this right balance again. But it's an act of gravity which cause some, I would really say, and talk about it, like changing a changing future as well. And that's why if you want to eat a cake with all those people and human beings, I told you, it's not that you can just take the chocolate where you have taken it before, or you can take the flour from countries which you have taken it before, because even that, and I told us in the first session, that countries which had no water, or really not water, or just how you call it down there, the very, very dry earth, will get back in completely different situation. They will have much more water than you can think right now, and communities where you had always sunny places will be a little bit different in the future as well. So also weather condition and also climate changes are a thing which are going on in that gravity. So I know that in your world, people and children are just getting out in the streets and say, well, this and this and this, we don't want that. It has also to do with gravity, but it has also to do on your daily lives, and it has also to do on what you put on earth excuse me, and what you the seeds which are not growing like they should, and so what we mean with that gravity gives you also the change in your consciousness, that you have to rethink, where population wants to live also one day, and where you don't have food, where you have just water, or where you can put a seed, that those population will just take place or get a different place in the world. So gravity has a really deep impact in future lives as well, but also good ones, because people, and go back in history go back in history, you had times where people had to walk to different countries, to different places, because or it was too cold, or it was too hot, or it was icy, or it was something not going wrong. And this also, the gravity will balance back the world again, and it gives also to the world a new, I won't really say commitment, to go on and together, to really say, okay, if we can do that today, we have to do it differently. And what are the possibilities? Because you need to have this in mind, that how your world has been until now will change. And also what I told in the first session, we still please you that the war going on, that you stop it, because that will cause much more problem. So it's also up to you. Yes, it was a long thing, but I had to explain it, my dear, because gravity is something so it's something new for your world right now down there. It's something completely new, because you are in a different time. Yes, you're not millions of years away. And yes, I needed to explain it like that. Yes, do you have other question, please?
Ich möchte mich in erster Linie bedanken für diese Verhältnisangaben, für Ihr Verständnis, das in unserer Sprache auch nehmen zu können, damit umgehen zu können, es kennenlernen zu können über diesen Kanal. Ich denke, es ist ein Grundbedürfnis der Menschheit heute überhaupt, neue Kommunikationstools zu eröffnen, neue Kommunikationswege wirklich zu gehen. Und da ist das Thema Gravitation heute steht wie an erster Stelle. Es beeinträchtigt, beeinflusst uns in unserem Alltag. Ja.
Yes, it will be. Because you have to imagine that these waves, which I talked or said before, they have a completely unknown for you in your world. It's an unknown force. And these forces are unknown for the population right now, but it was, if we look back in history, because we look also in our mathematic books, if I can say it like that, it has always been there, but there are times where this gravity, where these bubbles of changement comes back, and now maybe it's important to know, or people want to know how they come back, and it's also, let me say, that what is in the inner circle of your earth, because it's a fireball, and what you're doing on earth, it's like the people on earth are like in a sandwich, so what you do on earth, it has also it changes also what it goes up, and it changes also what it goes down, and so these forces are so completely different that you can't imagine that. And earthquakes or something that just say, hey, just look at it, things are changing. Volcanoes also, they say, hey, times are changing, and people in the past had always to recognize these elements and to think and to do afterwards. And that will be also now with this changement of gravity and with this changement of what the weather condition will be now in the future as well, for the earth and for humanity, yes. And be open, for other people, be open for what they have to go through, and just think that it's not just a place, and I need to say that the mathematics right now on earth, that your scientists down there have completely different numbers in their head, or what they study at university are completely different books as we do have up here. So our books are written, and that's why we are saying don't think that all things which you're studying are right, because things are changing. Very important, and that they are also open for this changement. And it's not that you just take a tool and you say, well, we know that you are living right now on earth, and some things you want to know and some things you need to know, because it must open also your mind. Very important as well, yeah.
Danke.
Yeah, we're welcome.
Darf ich auch noch eine Frage stellen zu Ihrer Kraft, zu ihrer Energie, aus welchem Kreis sie sich bewegen? Wir sprechen hier von einem Funky Space, um es von einem terrestrischen Bereich aus anzusprechen. Das, denke ich, ist auch eine dringliche Frage der Menschheit per se heute. Welche Kräfte wirken noch weiter mit ein, von denen wir vielleicht nicht wissen, nicht sehen, nicht schmecken, mit unseren alltäglichen Sinnesorganen nicht weiterkommen oder an eine Grenze stoßen.
Yes.
Und das ist, denke ich, noch für diesen Bereich, wenn man es jetzt auch in die Welt hineinlässt, diese Art der Kommunikation, woher kommt sie? Wer ist sie?
I know that in your world you have churches and also people had their thoughts about what is up in the sky, and do stars have a communication tool with Earth and planets, and I know that also in your world you think that there are people out there, but you need to know that the universe has first of all, it's conditional love for everybody. First of all, it's conditional love, and it's like a book of love, which was always written and is always there, and it is a force which is so it's so unique. It's something which keeps everything together, and it keeps also your humans together. It keeps also your body together. So without this force, this, let me say, chemical construct as well, you wouldn't be there as humans. And in all that, it was always there. It's something which is so eternal. It is. So everything which you do also, and even if you breathe and you take a deep breath every day, even in this express, you have this conditional love and this mathematics. So it is everything. And there was also a time where in your world there were people knowing about it. There were people knowing, but it was so confusing, and it was not the time that people could talk about it. And now it is a different time, and it's like a key to have this possibility to communicate today like that. And it's like also high energetic. So if you stand up in the morning and you say, well, today I want to communicate with the universe, you can do it, but you have to be more ready for that as well. And human beings, there was a time on earth where people could communicate, with this mathematics, because it's knowing, it's consciousness, and it's knowing, and it has always been there. And these tribes and these people, these communities, let me say, if they changed their energetic roots, they lost it, or you have to explain it like that. And what you have right now on earth, it's also that not everybody, but many people lost this communication, because everybody will be in every human beings, it will be possible if their consciousness, it's like, I really need to say it like that. And I know that in your world, your cartoons are like that we are green human beings. We have our antennas out. Yes, we do have, if you want to say it like that, but we need also that you put your antennas out, and then you can communicate with us. And there were populations, they could do that in between of those persons as well, and so they could communicate completely different. They had this ability to know, to have the knowledge of this mathematics, because it has been always there. So also, as I told before, artificial intelligence is not something that let me say, it's something just computer made, because they don't have the consciousness about it. And it is an eternal force. We are forces, we are energy. Talking now, today, Milady is a human being, but she has the forces. She has this antenna out, which are, let me say, like high frequency, that she can talk with us and we can communicate with you like that. Yes.
Dankeschön.
You're welcome.
Ja, für mich klingt es nach wie das Wunder des Seins wieder lernen, wieder hören.
It is a big key, but everybody does have the key, but you need really to open. It's also an open mind thing in the future, and it's also this consciousness, and it's also to be clean, and with clean I don't mean that you have to take 5 showers a day. I mean really to clean up your energy. And every human being, when we look at your world, we see our mathematics are completely different. Our mathematics are we don't see people in their names, but we see it in their numbers. We see it in their completely. Our understanding is see numbers and translate now the numbers. That's what Milady can do. And every tree, everything which you have on earth has a complexity of numbers, and in these numbers there is energy, in these numbers there is a frequency. And that's why I'm saying, it's like a frequency which can talk with frequency, because we are energy. We are not people which you think that people are just living in on other planets. And having that back, and the young generation, as I told before, the children, the still unborn, and also the children until 4 years, they have that. They can do that. So if people start to talk now with their children down there, you will see that they give you some very great information. But the thing is that many parents don't have the time to talk with their children, or still not on that way, or they think that something is so confusing. they are completely, that's why I told also, they are a different generation, which they do have this in their mind. They have much more consciousness as their parents and grandparents, and that's why they want also a different world back. And we are energy. If you really do your homeworks down there, some will be able one day, and it's something very, very beautiful as well. It is really to comprehend that the universe is very magic, and it is also magic to the people which are open. Yes.
Lieben Dank für diese...
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ja, yes, eine besondere Frequenz, die Sie wiedergeben, widerspiegeln, eine Energie. Ich bedanke mich für die Hinweise, für den Gestus, für Ihr Dasein.
Thank you so much, and we are happy that we can communicate like that, because as I told last time, it's like this space radio, and I say also thank you to this to Milady and also to you, that you give us also the possibility that we can communicate, that we can really spread the message of what is out there, and the message to how important it is that that things are written, but you can change it in a good way if you want. And it's always also up to human beings to really support it, because I really need to say that the book is magic. The book is magic. The book of mathematics is magic, and we want to have this magic back on earth, and we want to give it. But it's also your support, our support, and also your support to bring it back to earth. Yes. So thank you very much, and we are here for you, and I know that Milady and also the lady sitting here is taking or just record all the sessions, and we're always very pleased that we can really tell you what's going up here. And we have also funny moments, so it's not just that you think that it's a very dry thing, mathematics. We have also very funny moments, and we have also funny, I would say, sessions ahead. But we need to make you a little bit, I would say, curious, to what universe really is. And it is an open up to something new in your world, and I'm very happy for that. So thank you very much, and yes, I hope until next time. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you for being here, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Das war unsere zweite Folge unseres Podcasts Chat with Funky Space. Für Feedbacks und Fragen sind wir unter folgender E-Mail info@chatwithfunkyspace.com gerne für euch erreichbar.